Okay, hey, today's going to be a quick one. I'm going to be reviewing with all of you two things. One, how to look at today's price action and what it's set up for us going into the market and what we should have anticipated. And two, quick trade that I took within an hour of the opening that I pulled 3,500 across all my accounts. So 700 per account for each of my 50K top step funded accounts. So let me direct your attention here to the top left. We've got on the daily chart a very bearish close on Monday. We've got a fair value gap that price may draw to. And those are really the two big main things that you should be looking at: is a very long rally to the upside, a very aggressive rejection on Monday, and then the daily bias, just looking at these candlesticks, would be price most likely is going to go down and not up and dig into that fair value gap that I marked there in pink. Okay. If we dive one level deeper and we look at the 1 hour, this paints an even clearer picture of what we should have anticipated at the 9:30 open. So you can see here, kind of going back to Thursday and Friday, price creating these relative equal lows, pumping higher, coming to a level and dropping lower, and then kind of moving sideways through Monday, moving into Tuesday. What this should have indicated for you analyzing your own charts is where price is going to go. And the main key or hint here is all of these relative equal lows here. So we got two here, this one and this one, these two right here. These are all relative equal lows, and below that, that's where price usually tends to gravitate to as liquidity is sitting there. So going into, even though moving into the 9:30 open, price starts moving up, you can see or analyze that as the Judah swing. That price wants to go higher, tap in the buyers, and then drop the market. And that's what it did. Price rallied to the upside. It traded through this blue fair value gap. It's actually called BPR, a balanced price range. And for those who don't know, it's when you have a candle passing to the upside and to the downside and two fair value gaps overlapping. That's indicating that price had a chance to deliver both on the buy side and on the sell side, and it's creating a balance between the two types of traders. So kind of using that knowledge, price should have a difficult time breaking through barriers like BPRs. So if I do mention a BPR in a future video, that's what it is. So price went into this BPR, this balanced price range. You can see how it kind of traded to the upside, came back lower, and this is very important. The bodies closed within the lower half of that fair value gap. What is that indicating? It's indicating the first step of bearish strength. And then price later on, it tried again, punching through this BPR once more. And again, it failed to do so, and it closed within the lower half of this BPR. Then after that, price collapsed all the way, taking out all of these relative equal lows here. And that was essentially the main move of the day. Now moving over into the 15-minute chart, exact same data. You can see all these relative equal lows here just waiting to be taken. And here you can see where price really went to. Within this BPR on the 15-minute time frame, there is a 15-minute fair value gap denoted in pink. Price traded into it, rejected it. Once it filled it in, it just popped lower, taking out that liquidity. And me, and hopefully all of you as day traders, we're looking to try to take a trade here. I did try to take a short today. I was looking for shorts, but a short did not present itself. When price opened up here on the left-hand side on the 1-minute chart, came down lower to the second quadrant of the opening gap, which is yesterday's close at 414 and today's open at 930. It created a 60-point gap, which is very healthy. Usually we want to see this being above 40 for meaningful price action to happen after 930. So what price did here is it rejected the upper half of this opening gap, pumped higher, came back lower. Again, interesting conditions. It's almost seek and destroy conditions. It rejected an end dog of 1205, a new day opening gap. It went higher, took out these relative equal highs, punched into this 15-minute sell side imbalance, and then it dropped lower. And I'd probably say I personally didn't see anything that was comfortable trading live on my accounts up until this trade here. And if I quickly just go over this trade that I took, and I'll show a 5-minute recording of my live thoughts taking it right after I finish the analysis here, is price created a fair value gap. And remember, as I said before, it's the first fair value gap after 930. It formed at 943. You can see price created this fair value gap, came higher, broke right through it, traded lower, and then it came back higher. And as it came higher, this was the indication that it is going to go higher and tap out these relative equal highs. Is once it traded higher, it really pushed fast away from it, creating a 15-second fair value gap on the 15-second chart. It tried to break it. It failed to do so because all the bodies managed to stay within this 15-second fair value gap here that I'm highlighting right now with these little blue circles. Price rejected with a wick the first fair value gap. It's the exact same one as on the 1 minute. I just transposed it here to the 15-second chart. And after this, it pushed higher to its target here on the 15-second, on the 1 minute time frame, the relative equal highs. Once price tagged it, it meandered around within this fair value gap, and then it eventually started to drop. And the moment that it really started dropping was 2 minutes before the 1050 algo. 1048, you can see it came up, it rejected on the 1 minute. There's a fair value gap here. And on the 15-second, there's a couple more imbalances that you can see. Price came up, and then that's when it spooled and went right down to yesterday's open. You can see here, I was aiming to take this. I never took it. Like I hesitated, but this would have been a really nice trade. Again, on the 15-second chart, once price kind of traded into the first 15-second fair value gap. Okay, because remember, like you always have two first fair value gaps on the 15-second, on the 1 minute. At least that's how I trade. Once it rejected that, you can see it created a huge displacement to the downside, created in yellow a bearish fair value gap, a SIBI. It came up to it, tapped it, and then just melted right to the target. So unfortunately, this was not a trade I took, but I really wish I did take it. Would have been a couple grand there. So all in all, hopefully I've cleared up how to look at today's charts and what you should have seen going into the market, and some possible presented opportunities that I found myself. But all in all, I'm going to roll the clip right now of my live trade on Top Step, and I hope all of you have a good one, and we'll talk soon. If you enjoyed this content, feel free to like and subscribe or leave a comment. I'd really appreciate that. And the goal is I'm probably going to start live streaming in the new year, maybe once or twice a week, just to give you guys some real-time feedback on what's happening on the markets and what to anticipate for. So if you guys do want to see that, show me some feedback. And I guess until next time. Bit of the fair value gap. Created a, like technically based on what price is doing right now, it should go higher. But my overall bias on how the 1 hour closed is lower. This is what I want to see here. Perfect. Oh, it looks like it's closing above it.
Order filled.
Expecting the upside. I just did take a long. I'm expecting these relative equal highs to be taken.
Order filled.
I'm in the trade right now on top stop. And let's see. Trade is going to span out. My stop's at minus 300, right below this bullish fair value gap. How it's looking. Right. 750 upside to 350 downside. On the 15-second, we did form a bullish fair value gap here. We want to see the body stay and respect it and go higher. It's going to collapse from here. We may be wrong, but that's okay. This was relatively a good trade regardless. My confidence right now is 70% that it's going to hit this target. I'm never 100.
Order filled.